What's going on, y'all? It's the Cool Teacher, and today I'm going to show you how to divide a total into ratio groups. I have my problem up here, and it says divide 28 cans of soda into 2 groups so that the ratio is 3:4. As you can see, I have my paper divided into 2 sections. This is going to be for my visual learners. This is going to be for my mathematical people. All right? Make sure you pay attention because there is a nice little number of steps to this. That being said, first thing I want to go ahead and do is find the sum of my ratio. Okay? So you see it says the ratio is 3:4. So if my ratio is 3:4, I want to find the sum of that ratio. Remember, to find the sum of something means to add it. So 3 plus 4, that's going to give me 7. After I find the sum of the ratio, I have to find the quotient of the total items. In this case, the items are going to be the cans and the sum of the ratios. Remember, to find the quotient for something means that I have to divide. The total items is going to be 28, and the sum of my ratios is going to be 7.
7 going to 2? Nope. 7 going to 28? Yep. That'll be 4 times.
So here's where it starts to get visual. Remember, my ratio was 3:4. So I need my ratio boxes to match these same amount of sections. And the first group was 3 sections. My second group was 3 sections. So I'm going to make those sections. 3 sections for my first group. 4 sections for my second group. Next thing I go ahead and do is I take the 4, that was the answer for 28 divided by 7, and I'm going to stick it inside of these boxes. And from here is where I'll get my answer for how many cans were in both groups. So I can either add repeatedly, or I can do 4 times 3 because it's 4 3 times. 4 plus 4 plus 4 gives me 12, or 4 times 3. And 4 times 4 is going to give me 16. So my answer is going to be 12 to 16, or yo, what is that? Act like that's not even there. So 12 cans in the first group, 16 cans in the second group, and this would be my answer. So for my mathematical people, I start off the same exact way, finding the sum of my ratio. So remember, I started with 3:4. So find the sum, 3 plus 4, that gives me 7. So here's where it starts to get mathematical. Instead of dividing and then making the boxes, I'm going to make fractions. And the fractions are going to be made with my ratios. I have 3 and 4, and the sum of them is going to be 7. So what happens? I make one fraction, what's 3 over 7. Then I make another fraction that is going to be 4 over 7. Now I'm going to take these fractions and multiply them by the total number that's in my problem. Okay, the total number of items, or the cans. In this case, that'd be 28. I'm gonna go ahead and do this in pencil really quick just to make sure we know how to get this done. Since I have 28 total cans, if I'm gonna go ahead and multiply this by 28, this is what it would look like, right? 3/7 times 28. Well, I can't necessarily do this. Why not? Because this is a fraction, this is a whole number. Whenever I have a fraction, it has to be multiplied by another fraction. So I have to turn this into a fraction. How? I have to put 28 over 1. So 28 over 1. From here, I go ahead and solve this. To make it easy, I want to make sure I can cross simplify. 7 and 28 can cross simplify. What can go into, or what can both of these be divided by? 7. Then when I do that, my new fraction is now going to be 3 over 1 times 4 over 1, which is going to equal 12 over 1, or just 12. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing over here. Remember, I have to multiply it by the total number of items that's in my problem. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this by 28. But remember, I have to turn it into a fraction just like I did over here. So it ends up being 28 over 1. Can this simplify? Yes, it can. I already know simplifies by 7 because I already did it over here. And when I go ahead and do this, my new fraction is going to end up being 4 over 1 times 4 over 1. And when I get my answer for this, it's going to be 16 over 1, or just 16. Just like over here, I have 12 and 16, 12 and 16. All right, so my answer is the same as it is over here, 12 to 16. I'm not gonna rewrite all this, I'm gonna tell you right now, so just put an arrow, beep, right there. All right, cool. What I'm gonna show you now is basically how to double check this. I'm gonna do that in pencil because I have some erasing to do. So if I wanted to go ahead and check this to make sure that I had the right answer, one thing you can go ahead and do is add these two numbers together, or add the numbers in your groups together. I have 12 and 16. If I were to add 12 plus 16, 12 plus 16 gives me 28. This 28 is the total number that was in my problem because I had 28 cans, right? Another thing I can go ahead and do is just take the two numbers that I got in my group, my 12 and my 16. I can go ahead and take those and simplify them. 12 and 16. 12 can be divided by 4. 16 can also be divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 gives me 3. 16 divided by 4 gives me 4. So this 3/4 is exactly the ratio I started off with in my problem. So a way to double check, add the two numbers that you got in the end to make sure that it adds up to the total items that you had in your problem, and then go ahead and simplify the two numbers to make sure it gives you the ratio that you started off with in your problem. All right? Cool. Hopefully this helps you, because I know how this be messing y'all up for real. If it helped you, send it to somebody else so you can help them. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Other than that, this is the Cool Teacher, and I'm out.